The Lord visited Sarah, just as he had said, and she bore a son, just as he had promised. At the exact time God had declared, Sarah gave birth to Isaac, and Abraham, now 100 years old, held the child of the covenant in his arms. He named him Isaac, he laughs, because God had turned laughter into legacy. Sarah said, God has made laughter for me. Everyone who hears will laugh over me. Not the laughter of doubt, but of joy, of wonder, of promise fulfilled. This was no ordinary child. He was born when it was no longer possible, when Abraham's body was as good as dead, when Sarah's womb had long been closed. And yet, in hope, Abraham believed against hope, fully convinced that God was able to do what he had promised. Isaac's birth sets a pattern, a miraculous child born by divine promise against all natural odds. This is why Paul says in Galatians, the son of the free woman was born through promise. And this is why the angel told Mary, nothing will be impossible with God. The laughter of Sarah becomes the song of Mary, because the God who opened one barren womb would open another, and both would carry covenant forward. But the story doesn't end at the birth, because conflict was born too. Ishmael mocked, and Sarah saw it. She told Abraham, cast out the slave woman and her son. It sounds harsh, but God said, do as she asks, because Isaac would carry the line of promise, and Ishmael would become a nation of his own, but not the covenant one. So Abraham rose early. He gave Hagar and Ishmael water and bread, and he sent them away. They wandered into the wilderness of Beersheba, and when the water ran out, Hagar wept. But the boy cried out too, and God heard. He opened Hagar's eyes to a well, and he renewed the promise he had once spoken, I will make him a great nation. Because God does not forget. Not Sarah, not Isaac, not Hagar, not Ishmael. He hears them all. But only one line will carry the covenant, not because of favoritism, but because of prophecy. Because Isaac was a child of promise. Paul saw something deeper in this story. He said that Ishmael, born of the flesh, represents the covenant from Sinai, the one that brings slavery. But Isaac, born of promise, represents the new covenant, born not by law, but by the Spirit. Hagar stands for the old Jerusalem, Sarah for the Jerusalem above. And the message is clear. It's not just who your father is, it's what covenant you're in. One covenant leads to bondage, the other to freedom. And through Isaac, the covenant line would continue, because God keeps his promises.